And our reporter Louise Hobson's been to meet a number of women in a variety of sectors and professions from our part of the world to find out why it's so important to celebrate days like today.
Hi, I'm Claire Preston and I'm Head of Operations for the Power of Women, which is a community interest company based in Middlesbrough that aims to lift and shift the aspirations of young people in our region.
I'm Emma Charrington. I'm a Chartered Financial Advisor here at Active in Thornaby. I advise across all different areas of financial advice, from pensions, investments, protection and mortgages.
Hi, I'm Adele Wiseman, work for GMI Construction. I'm Head of Sustainability, only been there 2 months. I've got a big agenda ahead, looking at net zero and developing their sustainable development strategy.
Hi, Nikki Jolly, I'm from HR Today. We offer outsourced HR to any companies, any sectors, any industries, making sure that people are compliant and get the HR advice that they need.
Hi, I'm Sophie Snowden from the Great North Ambulance Service. I'm the fundraising lead for the east side of our region, making sure that we raise all the money every year to be able to continue our life-saving service.
Okay, we're here today because this is a celebration for International Women's Day, looking at everything that you guys have achieved in the region, getting any tips and hints for younger people. When you look back over what you've achieved, how do you view being a woman in that, if that makes sense? Is there any points where you felt like your gender may have caused something to happen or may have been held back or anything like that?
I honestly can't think of any times when it's affected me in my career. However, I think it prevented or limited my awareness of what I thought was possible, which is why we do what we do with the Power of Women, because it's about showing young girls that actually these opportunities exist for everyone, not just for boys. And it's showing boys that those jobs exist for women and girls as well. And we want to show them strong women in a range of sectors, in a range of roles, and show them that they do have access to that. So International Women's Day for me is really important because of our purpose with the Power of Women, to lift and shift aspirations and break down gender stereotypes. And what we've done is we've created, in partnership with Tees Valley Sport and MEMA and Middlesbrough College and Tees IWD University, we've put together a Women's Day festival, and we've got all sorts of activities going on. We've got panels, women in tech, we've got keynote speakers, we've got menopause, diversity and inclusion, domestic abuse, interior design, well-being, communicating with confidence, social media, all sorts of things going on throughout the day that we want people to access and feel part of, so that people who wouldn't necessarily take part in International Women's Day can come together with new people and celebrate being a woman and discuss our common challenges. Careers advice, I'd like to think it's improved, but it's still got a long way to go. But I don't know about the other women here, but I was told that it was suggested that I'd be a nurse. My dad was a teacher, so I thought I'd be a teacher, but he didn't want me to be a teacher. So then I struggled because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I just found my own way, and I've done lots of different things which I've loved. But if somebody had said to me, you could be a lawyer or work in construction or in the chemical industry or it just changes the way you think about your future. So we work really hard to show young girls and boys the opportunities that are available to them across a range of sectors, through working in partnership with local businesses and educators, and actually really showing them what success looks like in a range of different forms.
Well, I had my eyes opened when I had my first job in construction. I was working on the highways. I was the environmental lead, and basically I was the only female, sat in the boardroom with all of the managers going out to site. I was the only female, and it was it wasn't really looked at. Why don't we try to encourage more females into the workplace? And I moved on to various different business sectors looking at environment, but now I've gone back into construction, and things have actually completely changed. We did really focus on women in construction. I was absolutely delighted when I was going around the various projects and seeing female site managers on site and running a really tight ship. Brilliant. And it was really encouraged, and with GMI, the females on site, they're embraced, and it's just really encouraging. And we're doing quite a lot of work in schools to encourage young children, to apprentices to go into the construction industry. So things have moved on massively, but when I first started my career over 20 years ago, that wasn't looked at all. whatsoever. And like I say, throughout my career, especially for the first 10 years, I was kind of flying the flag for the female gender, really. But things are starting to change. It's still a long way to go, but it's a massive cultural change, and it doesn't happen overnight. So it's a journey, really, and I think the beauty of International Women's Day is encouraging organisations to really put it at the forefront and think about it. But it needs to start from grassroots, and it's getting their schools, etc., involved in demonstrating that there is a career for women in construction. So it's flying the flag, really, of the benefits of being a female in construction, and it does work.
Absolutely.
I think from my point of view, it's both. It's what Claire touches on. It's about what you brought up with, the surroundings around you. I was quite privileged that my mum worked in a man's world, if we can call it that. She was an expediting manager, so my beliefs were never limited in what I could do. So I think it's about basically everybody, whatever you want to do, if you work hard enough, you can achieve it, and that's to both male and female. And then from a woman's point of view, I've worked in an oil refinery locally down at Port Clarence, and it was just standard there. We had female managers that were just there. They loved what they were doing. I always remember Debbie, one of the first engineering managers, the leads that came in, and it was great. It just worked. And I think it's about where you work, the people you work with, and the kind of the lives that they've been exposed to as well. And I think what's important and what we can all learn from it is to encourage everybody, whatever age, wherever they're from, whatever capability they've got now. The world is everybody's oyster, and it doesn't matter whether now you're male, female. It should never have mattered, but it did. And I think the key is we've all got to spread that message, and we've just got to keep that passion going, because people limiting themselves is one of our biggest challenges. Partly at the moment, recruitment is so difficult to find people, and it's not because they can't do the jobs. They don't believe in themselves, so they're not applying for the jobs. And I kind of go, what's the worst that can happen? Just apply for the job and see what happens. Every job I've got, I never thought I was going to get. I never actually wanted it when I went, and when I've got there and I've thought, God, I wish I'd prepared for that. I really want this job. Fate has a lot to do with it, but it's also about your own confidence as well. So
you're absolutely right, Nikki, because that self-limiting belief and behaviour starts very young, doesn't it?
It does.
And that's why we've got to start working with young children first and look at that, because I love the theme of this year's International Women's Day, embracing equity, because equity really is about making sure that people it's about levelling up, isn't it? And I know that's an overused term, but it really is about what can we do to overcome the barriers that exist for some people that are disadvantaged in some way, and it could be that self-imposed limitation, couldn't it? But it could be that by working with the right employer or the right teacher, you can overcome that. And I don't believe that, we always talk about people working towards reaching their potential. I don't believe that potential is defined. I think you can keep developing and keep extending that and keep working towards something greater, but it's about really giving people the opportunity to achieve what they want and realise that, like you said, the world's their oyster.
It's working through that imposter syndrome as well, though, isn't it? Of, like you're saying there, of, well, what's the worst that can happen? But a lot of people think, oh, well, if the job criteria is 10, or if I can only do 8, well, I won't apply. There's other people that think, oh, well, I can do 6, great, I'll apply.
And they get it.
Yeah, but it's true, and it is looking at your own belief, isn't it? And, going back to what you said, I was really lucky if I had parents that encouraged me to do whatever I wanted, and there was never well, you can't do that, it's a male-dominated industry, or you this or that. I entered financial services, and again was lucky. I've worked with fantastic leadership boards who have always encouraged everyone to do whatever they wanted and progress. But especially in my early years, I'd go to large events and there might be 300 attendees. I'd be lucky if there was 5 women in the room, and the amount of times someone has said to me, oh, are you a secretary? Oh, are you someone whose advisor are you with? Oh, are you taking minutes? I'd said, no, I'm an advisor. They'd be like, oh, are you training? No. And, you'd have that sort of strange silence where I was feeling awkward, and it's not me that should be awkward in that scenario. But again, as I say, I'm lucky if, at Active, for example, we've got several female financial advisors. It's not something that we promote because we just think it's normal here. But, there's other firms where they might have one and they're singing about it because they think it's amazing. You know, back to what you were saying, Nikki, I think of it shouldn't matter, but it did or it does. And, you know, likewise on the other side of the coin, it should be who is right for that job, not, oh, we need an extra woman or we need an extra man or we need this or need that. It should just be on your own merits. And as you say, it shouldn't have to be defined of, oh, you need to do this or that. It should just be you as that individual or person bringing the right thing to the role or the industry and promoting it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like when you said about being lucky and being able to do kind of what you wanted from the start, like I definitely feel that I've always been quite lucky and I've always done whatever I wanted to do, and I've kind of not really been bothered about what other people have either thought. Like from a young age I've always played football, so I would go to football camps and probably be the only girl on these football camps, but it didn't bother me. I do feel like I have been lucky, but then I just hope that it's the way that the world's evolving and changing, and actually it's not luck. It's just that now being a woman and doing whatever you want to do is just accepted, and you can go from playing football to being an accountant or to doing whatever you want to do, and it's not what men should do or what women should do. It's just that the world is changing, and that is hopefully just going to be the norm from now, and it's not lucky, and it's just the way that things are.